plastic cup to drain off the water from the separator, if indeed there is any there. You should really do this as much as possible. It's always a good thing to keep an eye on your water fuel separator and just check its condition by draining a little bit off and having a look in the residue at the bottom of the plastic cup and seeing if you've got any there. So, okay, let's go ahead and do it. Okay, so I'm going to put the cup there, and then just, you have to press the yellow knob in and then turn the tap, and there we go. So that should be enough, and I'm going to put it up on the deck and have a look. So we're in good shape. There is no water in there. It would have settled out fairly quickly, or you'd at least seen the bubbles. So there's no water in there at all, but what there is in there is, I don't know if you can see that, but there is little dirt particles in there, which is so let's get that filter out as soon as possible and see what condition we are. That's the first one loosened off. Now inside here there is a little compression box which keeps the filter in place, and you'll see what I mean when I pull it out. It's got 4 springs in each corner because the filter is square, and it keeps the filter pressed down in place. And the top of the filter is where the fuel goes through, and the bottom of the filter is where it's actually filtering out all the particulates. Yeah, I've slacked all the studs off now, and as you can see the gap there, as I told you, there's a compression box in there with 4 springs either corner, on each corner of the cap, and that just pushes the top up. So don't be worried if you're feeling some resistance when you take it off. So yeah, it's all slacked off now. I'm just going to take all the studs out and then pull the cap off. You know, before you do this, it's a good idea to get a small container and put it underneath the filter, because you're going to get some overflow of diesel come out, and as you can see, I wasn't very prepared for that. I only used rags, but it would be good to get some sort of container to take the diesel from spilling into your bilge. Okay, that's the 4 studs off now. So quite simply take the cap off. You can see there's just a seal which goes around it. I'm going to lay that up there. And this is the compression box which keeps the filter in place, and as you can see the springs. I'll take that up and put that there, and simply here is the filter. Now there's a little handle in there, so you reach in, pull that plastic handle, and then pull the whole filter out. I'm just going to tip it sideways until I get some more rags. So I'm just going to lift the filter out now. Try and get as much diesel as I can contained in the chamber itself, and place it there. And then once it's drained off or soaked into this cloth, I'll show you the underside and show you how badly these things can get clogged. You know, I thought I'd just show you that on the top of the filter things look pretty good, But when you actually turn the filter over to the filter section, that's how bad things can get. So look how much the filter is filtered out on those folds. It's almost black. So I would have said that that's definitely more than a year before that's been changed. They look pretty sorry. So yeah, that will most certainly make a difference to the fuel system. As you can see, the difference in color from that filter. Yeah, so good bit of service. Make sure you clean out your fuel water separator filter. So here's my new filter. Quite simply take him out of the box. Obviously be very careful not to get any dirt on them, and all you do is, these little handles pop out quite easily. All you do is place it straight back in to the filter cage, and it's as simple as that. There we go, it's taken on the diesel and sinking down. Then you put on your square box compression holder, which obviously keeps the filter in place, and you can see how much that sticks up. So don't worry about it. What you're going to have to do is, when you screw it down, you'll feel this compressing against the filter. Right. So very simply now, I just put the CPAR cap back on. And you'll feel just where the groove is that meets both top and bottom. And then simply put your studs back in. Okay, they're all down hand tight now, and what you need to do is screw them up so they're done up diagonally, so you compress the compression box against the filter evenly. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is turn on the fuel cocks, and then I'm going to slacken off this bleed valve to get any air out of the system. Okay, I'm going to slacken off that bleed valve. I cracked it just a second ago. And then wait for the diesel to come through. There we go. And that looks pretty good to me. Straight up to the top. There's no air coming out, so yeah. I'm going to nip that up. And obviously just take the residue of that diesel off of the cap. And we're good to go. You've just changed your first fuel water filter. Okay, last and final, we're just going to check around the seal faces. And there is no leakage whatsoever, so obviously a good sign. I'll just check the back, and a little bit wet where I didn't clean it off, and just have a quick look there. No seepage. So start the engines up and see how we go. So one time again, there's the filters which we've changed. We've changed a square filter in a CPAR filter for the fuel water separator. In my boat I have two of those. That's one tank on one side and then the other tank on the other. So obviously there is normally one per engine. So yeah, service complete.